I honestly don't know what it is with the infatuation lately and people wanting to shoplift out of Target. I mean, y'all saw the video that I did about the two individuals who was running that gift card scheme using Target gift cards. There was another story that came out, I think of New Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't get a chance to talk about it, where you had this teacher, not a teacher, a doctor, who was stealing out of Target. Imagine that, a woman who makes six figures stealing out of Target. The world is upside down. And now you have this woman right here whose name is Keri Blair, who was arrested for shoplifting out of Target. Now you're probably wondering, why am I even talking about this woman? Like, who is she? Well, she's attached to a group that I've talked about on this channel before, and that group is Moms for Liberty. Now, the last time I talked about Moms for Liberty was involving that degenerate out of Philadelphia who was putting some kind of a event together for them, and it had got exposed that he was involved in some inappropriate activities that involved minors, and it was a black man at that. Go figure. And then you had that one down in Florida with her husband that was involved in some things as well. I'm sure y'all know, y'all can put the pieces of the puzzle together. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. It's like every time we hear about the quote unquote Moms for Liberty, they're always involved, or people who are close to them are always involved in some kind of debaucherous behavior of some sort, or some level of criminality, or something that would keep them, or should keep them under a microscope, other than whatever it is that they're supposed to be putting out there. If someone was to walk up to me and ask me what the Moms for Liberty was, I could only tell you I only know of them by name. I couldn't tell you a damn thing that they actually stand for or for what they do. But one thing we do know is that they have some very staunch anti-black views. I look at the Moms for Liberty the same way I look at the Klan, because you know the Klan was heavily male. I look at the Moms for Liberty as basically the female version of that. They're not out here wearing no hoods. A Tennessee school board member tied to the conservative group Moms for Liberty was arrested after allegedly shoplifting from Target on 7 different occasions. So she's a school board member too, and she's a part of Moms for Liberty, but 7 different occasions. I wonder if she went to 7 different Targets, or she went to the same Target 7 times. Keri Blair, age 43, was arrested on January 5th for property theft charges after purportedly quote unquote skip scanning items at Target self-checkout stations 7 different times between November 25th and December 20th, a Collier police spokesperson said. And for those of you who don't know what skip scanning means, it basically means when you go to the self-checkout and a person pretends like they're scanning an item, but they really don't. Like, they'll probably they swipe it across the barcode as if they were not the barcode, because that means they scanned it. They'll scan it away from the barcode to make it seem like they did scan it, and then they put it in the bag and walk out. Or what they'll do is they'll switch the barcode of a lesser item with something else and then scan that one so they can get the more expensive item for cheaper, or for whatever the lesser item costs. That's basically what she did. And the thing is, it can only work at a self-checkout, because clearly if you go into a cashier spot where someone's doing the scanning for you, it definitely wouldn't work. The allegedly stolen items amounted to $728.61. Blair had served as part of the Colliersville School Board, but resigned following the charges against her, citing quote-unquote personal family reasons. Yeah, right. You resigned because you got caught being a klepto. Jennifer Martin, chair of the Shelby County chapter of Moms for Liberty, said the group did not officially endorse Blair in the 2022 race for the Collierville School Board seat, but she did receive financial contributions from Patricia Woodward, the treasurer of the local Moms for Liberty chapter, according to Newsweek. The right-wing group endorsed more than 270 candidates nationwide for school board elections in 2022, notably in states like Florida, go figure, in an effort to overhaul education infrastructure across the country and restrict access to books, classroom materials, and honest discussions of race, racism, LGBT plus people, and gender and sexuality in the classroom. Now, to scratch out, to put the other stuff to the side, let's talk about the race and the racism. Notice what they said: have an honest discussion about race and racism. Honest discussion with race and racism should not be in the same sentence when they say it. If y'all remember, I talked about a woman named Michelle Haas. With her actions, she might as well be a part of Moms for Liberty. assuming she's a mother herself, where she was basically trying to go, well, she didn't try, she did. She complained about the slave plantation narratives and the books on the slave plantations about, you know, taking them out and being removed, because apparently she felt so offended that they weren't talking about the slave owners, like they weren't talking about them in a good light. So what did they do? They bent the knee and they actually got them up out of there. So when they say honest discussion about race and racism, that discussion is far from honest. It is going to be filled with a bunch of lies. And how ironic they bring up Florida, because remember, in Florida, they did that thing with PragerU down there back in July of 2023. So when they talk about honesty, first off, they're lying already. And then when they bring up race and racism into it and then try to say they're going to be honest about that, they're lying about that as well. The group's success dwindled in 2023 elections, however, when the majority of the more than 130 candidates the group endorsed lost their seats. During the 2022 elections, Blair promoted herself as a staunch conservative despite the Colliersville school board elections being nonpartisan. When I started, it was, oh, it's too right, it's too conservative. But as I talked to people and it was out in the community, a lot of it was staying true to the things I started and set out from the community, she told the Daily Memphian after winning the election. Loosely translated, she saw the grift. She saw a grift coming, she saw a bag coming her way, and that's when she started to shift. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Now that's having an honest discussion. Following her resignation, school board chairman Wright Cox expressed his thanks to, what a name, expressed his thanks to Blair for her service to the community and her commitment to public education. He did not mention the charges against her. No surprise there. Her replacement will be selected by the Colliersville Board of Mayor and Aldermen and will serve until the elections on November 5th. Moms for Liberty co-founder Tiffany Justice previously said the group is looking to expand its efforts to elect school board candidates in 2024. They are putting, in my opinion, a lot of unqualified people in these seats, into which I'm not surprised by that either. She said the group will use its political action committee to engage in school board races nationwide. It will also start endorsing at the state board level an elected superintendent, she said, suggesting school board elections will remain some of the most contentious political fights this year. Moms for Liberty emerged from the right-wing outrage during the C-19 pandemic as schools shifted to remote learning and implemented public health guidance like mask requirements. Imagine growing a group out of hate because they were trying to care about your safety. PC, that's your modern PC woman for you. The group over a certain age, might I add. The group, which has attracted support from Florida Governor Ron DeSnowflake and other Republican officials who have focused on culture war flashpoints, has since grown its membership to roughly 100,000 people in more than 250 chapters in 42 states. Last year, the group was designated an anti-government extremist organization by the Southern Poverty Law Center for allegedly harassing community members, advancing anti-LGBTQ plus misinformation, and fighting to scrub diverse and inclusive materials from lesson plans. The group also helped facilitate efforts last year to encourage boycotts of Target for purportedly pushing pro-LGBTQ propaganda by selling truck-friendly swimsuits for adults as part of their 2023 Pride Season collection, leading to the company taking a small hit in its share price between May and June. Now, how ironic. They led a charge or a boycott against Target, and what was this woman doing for a couple of weeks in the last quarter of the year? Stealing out of Target. If you're boycotting Target, you shouldn't even be in there to steal anything, let alone buy it. Or buy it, let alone steal it. I guess this was her way of contributing to the boycott. See, I guess she figured, hey, I'm getting stuff out of Target, but it's not like I'm paying for it. However, the company later rebounded with a 7.46% increase toward the end of the year, most likely due to holiday shopping. Moms for Liberty has also called teacher unions terrorist organizations, offered so-called bounties for reporting teachers who were allegedly discussed divisive topics in schools, attacked the Trevor Project for supporting young LGBT plus people at risk of suicide, and has launched a barrage of book challenges. Now, notice how many times in this article the Academy was mentioned. They were mentioned about 3 or 4 times. The reason why I said that is because you have a lot of, unfortunately, black people who are in the academy will swear up and down black people are the most homophobic. Yet you have this organization that is ran by some staunch PC anti-black women who don't give a damn about your lifestyle, but if you black, they definitely don't. That's where it starts. That's the foundation for them. But now you're getting hit both ways because you're black and you're in the academy. Where is the outrage for people like them? Remember, these women have inserted their ways into the school board, which means they have allowed themselves or have positioned themselves into some level of authority where, again, the pen is mightier than the sword. Y'all better hope they don't get into a position on a Fed level. Because remember, I always talk about domino effects. Whatever they do at a state level or local level, let them get to a federal level, it's a wrap. It's off to the races after that. Now, what's crazy is this story started off talking about this woman who is a part of this group stealing out of Target, but they listed their whole resume as far as how this group grows, and that's only just a fraction of it. I'm sure if you pulled up everything about the Moms for Liberty, you'll be amazed at what you find, but you won't be surprised what you find either. So as far as I'm concerned, this woman is an anti-black, target thieving ass kleptomaniac. Now, what will happen to her, I don't know. They just said she resigned, but the thing is, resign and fired are 2 different things. To be fired means she ain't getting paid. To resign means she can still collect a check. And it's probably still collecting a check. But like I said, I just think it's interesting that they were supposed to be boycotting Target, and yes, she was still going into Target and stealing out of there for like 2 weeks. So, you know, there you go. And then again, if you never heard of the Moms for Liberty before, you just got a taste of that. I would highly suggest that if you want to learn or read up more about it, the information is definitely out there. I'm almost certain they have a website. You just got a taste of who they are and what they are all about.